What's going on, you guys? So in today's video, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be doing some backlapping here on the McLane. Now the main reason for this is because I noticed here, if you're looking at the reel here on the left side, it wasn't cutting paper. So when I did my paper check, it wasn't cutting paper. So obviously I need to do some adjustment for one, but for two, I figured if I'm already adjusting it and everything, I might as well just give it a fresh back lap and get these blades nice and sharp, and then I'll obviously adjust it from there afterwards. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get this process started. I'm gonna start over here first. I'm gonna take this shield off here, and then we'll just go ahead and keep moving along, and I'll fill you guys in on what's going on. Also, by the way, everything is 1/2 inch on this, so these two bolts right here to take off this shield are 1/2 inch, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Okay, now that we got the shield off, obviously, as you can see, we have the chain exposed now. Now what I need to do is take the master link off, which is right here for me. The master link is right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to take this off real quick. Okay, there's the master link piece. Oh. What I will say too is always in this case, since the reel, or I should say since the chain rotates this way, obviously when you're mowing, so the chain goes forward like that, always remember when you go ahead and you take this off, remember that this master link piece goes back like this to where the closed end, where it wraps around, is following the same way the chain goes. So key tip with that, remember how you took it off. Then we take this piece off right here. Take that piece off along with it. And then obviously you take the main linkage part off, which is this right here. Got that off. And now, as you can see, we have the chain apart. Go ahead and get this off of here. And there you go, chain's off. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and loosen two bolts. So the first bolt I'm gonna go ahead and loosen is this one right here. As you can see, it's a bolt running through this side frame piece, and then it has on the back side towards the reel, it has like a bracket that it obviously bolts into that's threaded. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen that up. And then we're gonna go ahead and loosen this bolt up, which is right behind this spring part for the height adjustment. We're gonna go ahead and loosen that bolt up. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. For this, you're most likely gonna wanna use just your basic 1/2 inch open-ended wrench because you can't really fit a socket through here, obviously. I mean, what you could do if you wanted to, you could take your whole roller off, but I'm not gonna do that. So we're just gonna go ahead and use this 1/2 inch piece, or 1/2 inch wrench, and loosen this. Get it, you don't have to take this all the way out, just get it loose enough to where it's gonna wanna move. Same thing, just get it loose enough to where it's gonna wanna move. So we're good there. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And get to the backlapping process. I have right here, I have the 80 grit backlapping compound from Real Rollers, and I also have 120 grit from them as well. So you're going to need your backlapping compound, you're going to need a brush to go ahead and apply your compound onto the reel, and then you're going to need a cordless drill or a corded drill with the adapter to go ahead and use on the left side over here where the chain is, or I should say where the chain goes on, you're gonna go ahead and need this for that. And I'll show you guys that, why you need it once we get to that point. But let's go ahead and get this process started by putting on our backlapping compound on the reel first, just to go ahead and get things started for us. So let's go ahead and start that process. So all I'm doing here is just basically taking the compound and I'm putting it on each reel. What I will say is this is going to get pretty messy, so if you guys have, like, if you could put a trash bag down or something underneath where you're doing it, that might help. But so basically just going to brush this on real quick. Go ahead and do that. I'll go this way with it. Okay, you guys, so that's good starting out. I just pretty much put it on all the blades to start. Now what I'll go ahead and do is start, I'm gonna go ahead and take the drill, go ahead and show you guys on this other side here on the left side how we're gonna actually do this. So let me go ahead and show you guys how this is gonna work. So basically you're gonna take this part here where the, obviously you have your drill with the adapter on it and these bolts. Basically just gonna figure out how this goes on here. Trying to show you guys to where it's visible for you. So right there. So basically right there is how that's going to work. And then obviously you want to spin the reel going the opposite direction. So when you cut, obviously the blade spins forward, spins like this. You want to spin the blade backwards. In this case, since you're backlapping, hence the term backlapping, you want to take and spin the reel backwards. So make sure your drill is in that right position to do that. And then basically you're gonna hook this up to this. You're gonna pull your drill, the trigger on the drill, and then you're just gonna start backlapping. And as you're backlapping, what you're gonna go ahead and do is apply more compound. That way you can obviously sharpen it as it's going. And yeah, I'll show you guys though. You guys will get the idea once I start rolling with it. So basically you're gonna start out slow and just let it, you know, start going at first, kind of in the slow mode. And then what I'll start doing is I'll speed the drill up, and then I'll start adding more of the backlapping compound on there and just let it do its thing. And then we'll go ahead from at that point until I think it's good. After a few minutes of doing it, we'll go ahead and switch over to the 120 and basically repeat the same process. So let's go ahead and get started. Guys, I think I got it pretty dialed in with the 80 grit. What I will say right off the bat is this is my first time ever doing a back lap on any sort of reel mower. Now, when I used to work on baseball fields, we were able to back lap our ride-on mower we had, but that process was a little bit different. It wasn't really this intuitive with it, so this is a tad bit different than that. So yeah. If you guys got any suggestions and stuff down below, would be willing to hear them, see what I could do differently next time. But like I said, this is my first time doing this. So yeah, basically what I'm gonna do now, like I said, I did 80 grit. I think we're pretty solid on 80 grit for right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the 120 and repeat the whole process. Okay, now we'll go ahead and get started with the 120 here. All right, you guys, I think we're at a good point right now. I think I could honestly go a little bit more, but you know, sometimes with stuff like this, sometimes less is better. I did do 2 rounds. So like I said, I went ahead and did the 80 grit and then did the 120. And it, I mean, as you can hear, sounds pretty good, to be honest. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is wash off all this backlapping compound. I'm gonna go ahead and take the hose and clean this up. Alrighty, you guys. Well, I figured I'd jump in here real quick. I'm at a good stopping point as of right now. So as you guys saw, we went ahead and backlapped the reel and did it with 80 and 120 grit. So that's knocked out there. Went ahead and hosed all the backlapping compound off of the reel and obviously the bed knife. So that is done. Went ahead and used my leaf blower just to help, you know, dry it off. And with it being pretty warm today, it actually dried pretty quick. So on to the next step, which is I need to go ahead and adjust my reel to bed knife again. Obviously, since I just did a fresh backlap, that tolerance is different now. So I need to go ahead and readjust the reel back down to the bed knife and get it to where it's cutting paper all the way across. So we'll be doing the paper test as well. So with all that being said, let me go ahead and show you guys how we do that. Okay, so real quick, I'll go ahead and show you guys what the reel looks like after a fresh backlap before we go ahead and start adjusting. So here's what it looks like. As you can tell, very, very shiny, obviously end part of the blade here. Looks very, very good. It definitely needed that is what I will say. It definitely needed it. And as you can see as well, I'll go ahead and show you guys. Right now, see how I can spin the blade, or I should say the reel, pretty freely with my hand. So that's why we need to go ahead and adjust the reel back down to the bed knife just to make sure we are cutting paper. What I will do first off is do a paper test right off the bat before I go ahead and start adjusting, just to see where I'm at. That way I could get a gauge of how much lower it needs to go on both sides. So, but yeah, you guys, looking very good, very fresh. Seems pretty good as well. Definitely feels a lot sharper as well. I think I could have went a little bit longer with doing the backlapping process, but I'll know that for next time, that I can go a little bit longer and just do it a little bit more. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and do the paper test real quick, and then we'll see if I need to do more adjusting from there. Okay, you guys, now time for the paper test. As you can see, right now I have the mower kind of tilted back and it's leaning up against the two wood kind of planks I have for it to sit on top of. So let's go ahead and check this reel to bed knife clearance here and see if it's cutting at all the way across, if it cuts on the sides or what. So this is basically what the paper test is for, just to make sure, to see if you're cutting paper for one, and for two, just to see if you need to adjust at all. So let's go ahead and check it out. I'll start here on the left and then go from there. So not cutting there, not cutting there. Closer to the middle, not cutting. Still not cutting, still not cutting, still not cutting, not cutting, not cutting. Yeah, so we're not cutting at all. Across the whole entire reel, we're not cutting at all. So what I need to go ahead and do is take the reel and drop it down. The way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna take, as you can see, probably over here in the corner here where these brackets are, I'm gonna go ahead and knock those down little bits at a time. And then it's basically just, like I said, fine tuning it. And this is the tedious process of where you need to get it just right to where you're cutting paper all the way across. Okay, so I'm gonna start here on the left side. There's really, I wouldn't say there's a specific way you need to do it, but just considering, this is just off of my opinion, considering how the blade, how you can see how it starts kind of falling down and going towards the right, that's why I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the left side and then do the right side after. So there's, like I said, I don't think there's really any specific way you need to do it. If you need to do left to right or right to left, I don't think that matters, but this is just how I'm choosing to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and basically what I'm gonna use is a screwdriver here. I'm gonna go ahead and use a screwdriver and then just your basic hammer. And what I'm gonna do is put the screwdriver right here on the bottom part of this bracket and then just lightly tap it, little bits at a time, until we get to the point to where we're cutting paper, and just follow that process on the other side as well. So I'm gonna show you guys that right now. So I'm gonna start out with probably 1 or 2 taps and then double check again after that with paper. 1, 2. And then now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and come down here with the paper and we cut. Yep. Cut there, cut there. Not cutting there. Okay, so we're cutting a little bit right in here in this area. So what I might do is just tap it one more time, see where we're at there. Okay, so we're gonna give it one light tap here. There we go. Go ahead and double check again with the paper. Cutting there. Cut there. Cut there. Cut there. Cut there. And once we get to the middle, yeah, it's like once we get to like this middle part right here, it's not cutting. So now that it's cutting right in here, I'm gonna go ahead and go over on the right portion here and tap that down and see if we could start getting paper cut all the way across. So same thing like I did on the left side there, just gonna lightly tap this little bits at a time. Hopefully my arm's not in the way, sorry about that. Lightly tap, so 1, 2. I will say, just for this being my first time doing this as well, it's a lot easier to do minimal taps and then obviously go from there, as opposed to hitting it hard once and it moving quite a bit, then you gotta re-hit it back up. And not saying it's hard to put it back up, but it's just a lot easier just to do it little by little to work your way to where you need it to be. So just a tip on that. I'll go ahead and check this paper here. paper test. So cut there, cut there, cut there, and uh-oh. Yeah, see, that's weird. Right here, I'm at like a almost like a bind point where it's like stuck. Oh, careful. Yikes. All right, let's see. Let's try this again here. Okay. It's kind of weird. It's like there's cut, there's cut, and there's cut there. This, it's weird, like this middle portion right here is not, huh, interesting. It's weird because like this middle portion right in here is kind of, it's like, it's not really cutting. Right there is interesting. So gonna have to just fine tune adjustment on probably both sides just to see where exactly I need to go. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get to that point. I probably won't bore you guys as far as me really sitting here fine tuning adjusting it. Like I said, it can be a tedious process, so, and I don't want to bore you guys with that, but I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll show you guys the final paper check just to show you guys that it's cutting all the way across, and then we'll probably be done at that point. Cutting there, cut there, cut there, cut there, cut there, cut there, going to the middle. Kind of cutting, as you can see. Let's try it again here. Cut. Oh, it is cutting in the middle. I think maybe the way I was holding it. Cutting. Cut there in the middle. Moving over. Cut there. Cut there. Cut there. Cut there. There. All right, well, we're pretty well cutting all the way across now, as you guys saw. If I need to make, or if I need to adjust it a little bit more, I will do that later on. What I want to do as well is this next time I mow with it, it will be the telltale sign if I need to adjust it or not. If I see anything weird after I mow, usually when you mow, sometimes you can tell if it needs to be adjusted more or not. But to be honest, I'm really happy with where it's at. It's very little, you know, clearance with the, or I should say it's very little contact with the bed knife, which is very good. You don't want a whole lot of pressure there on the bed knife. So that is working pretty well. What I will do now is go ahead and tighten these up. So tighten this bolt here, tighten this bolt over here, and then the two on the sides. Go ahead and tighten everything up, and then what I'll do after that, once I've tightened everything up, is I'll recheck, re-paper cut it just to make sure that nothing changed, and then yeah, we'll be done. Like I said, tighten these bolts up. That one there. Alright, you guys, well, that's pretty much it for today's video. What I will say is, I don't know what went wrong, but I had a few clips that I filmed that were probably a minute or so long. And for whatever reason, when I imported them, obviously to edit this video, there were a few clips that I only had like probably 10 to 15 seconds worth of footage that was actually usable, and then it just went blank. So there was probably like I said, with the clips being at least a minute long, there was probably at least another 45 seconds worth that didn't even get, you know, actually captured on the card. So I don't know what happened there. I tried to look everything over, nothing really popped out at me that was kind of like, oh shoot, that could have been it. So I'm not sure what happened. I did have obviously some other clips to use for this video, but it didn't work out obviously with what I'm saying. So yeah, I'll just have to keep an eye on that going forward, make sure that it doesn't happen again. But yeah, what I will say is the McLane's cutting really good after that fresh backlap. It definitely needed it, definitely got it dialed in really nicely, and it's, you know, got a good cut going now, and the blades are obviously nice and sharp there on the reels. So yeah, with all that being said, if you guys did enjoy watching this video, please go ahead, smash that thumbs up button for me. As I always say, it really helps me out. It lets me know what you guys are enjoying on the channel. After doing that, smash that subscribe button down below and hit the bell notifications. That way you can get notified for when I upload new videos. Check out social medias in the description below. I got personal Instagram and photography Instagram. Go ahead, check those out. With all that being said, it's your boy C-Pims. Peace out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.